So what does it actually take to build a business from the ground up? Today, we're going to break down the Entrepreneur's Blueprint, a complete guide that takes you from that very first spark of an idea all the way to a thriving business. Let's dive in.
Okay, let's kick things off with a quick question. You've got Oyo, the hotel giant, Swiggy, the food delivery king, and Paytm, the digital payments pioneer. I mean, on the surface, they're in completely different worlds, right? But they all share this one, single, powerful thing in common. Any guesses what it is? Yep, you got it. It's entrepreneurship. But what does that word even mean? It's so much more than just starting a business. It's the art of seeing a problem that everyone else just walks past, taking a calculated risk, and building a creative solution. Oyo, Swiggy, and Paytm didn't just sell things. They saw a huge gap in our day-to-day lives, and they filled it. And that brings us right to the foundation of our blueprint, defining the mission. So who is an entrepreneur, really? And why are they so incredibly important to all of us?
Well, their impact is absolutely massive, and it goes way beyond just their own company. Entrepreneurs are the engines of our economy. They're the ones creating jobs, pushing for brand new ideas, and fueling economic growth. From helping smaller towns develop to inventing things that make our lives easier, their fingerprints are everywhere.
I mean, just look at Oyo for a second. Ritesh Agarwal didn't invent hotels, right? Of course not. But he saw a huge problem that everyone else was ignoring. The budget hotel scene was a total gamble. Unreliable, inconsistent. His genius wasn't just the idea of affordable hotels. It was the execution of creating a brand you could trust. It's the perfect example of how taking a simple idea and doing it flawlessly can change the world.
Okay, so we've talked about what entrepreneurs do, but what about who they are? What's going on inside their heads that makes them wired differently from most people? Let's get inside the entrepreneur's head. It's kind of funny, everyone has a different theory about what makes an entrepreneur tick. You've got economists who talk about creative destruction, basically, coming in and shaking up old industries. Then you have psychologists who say it's all about this intense internal drive, a high need for achievement. And then sociologists argue, nope, it's all about your culture and where you come from.
So, what's the real answer? Well, it's not just one thing. It's more like the perfect storm. You need a driven personality, a society that supports risk-taking, and then, boom, the right opportunity comes along. When those three things click into place, that's when entrepreneurship really happens.
So you've got the mindset. That's awesome. But a great mindset without a plan is, well, it's just a daydream. You need a map, and that's exactly what this next part is all about. How to turn that brilliant idea into a concrete, actionable plan.
And this really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Where do these great ideas actually come from? They don't just fall out of the sky. Believe it or not, there are actual proven methods for finding them. A lot of it just comes down to paying attention. Seriously, the best ideas aren't always born in some fancy brainstorming meeting. They're found by spotting gaps in the market. Kind of like how Swiggy realized we needed a better way to get food delivered. They're hidden in customer complaints, in new trends, and even in special frameworks designed to help you think differently.
But look, having the idea is just step one. Now it has to survive the creative process. First, you prepare. You do the research, you collect the data. Then, you let it incubate. You just let your mind chew on it in the background. That's when you get that amazing aha moment. But, and this is so important, you can't stop there. You have to verify it, test it, poke holes in it, and see if it actually holds up in the real world.
Okay, so your idea is solid. Now it's time to draw the maps. And you'll need two different kinds. Think of the business plan as the story you tell investors to get them excited. It's the what and the why. The detailed project report, or DPR, is the nitty-gritty. It's for the banks. It's packed with all the financial projections and technical details to prove your plan is rock solid and not just a dream.
Now here's a critical truth you have to remember. No one, and I mean no one, succeeds at this alone. Every entrepreneur needs a toolkit, a whole ecosystem of support. This section is all about gathering the resources that can literally make or break your new venture.
A healthy startup ecosystem is like really fertile soil. You need the money, sure, from VCs, from banks. You need helpful government policies and talented people coming out of universities. But it's also about the other stuff. The co-working spaces, the strong networks, and maybe most importantly, a culture that isn't afraid of failure. Just look at a hub like Bengaluru. That's a perfect example of all these pieces working together perfectly.
All right, let's bring all this theory back to home ground. What does it actually look like to put this blueprint into action and launch a startup right here in India?
To really get it, you have to understand the scale we're talking about. Get this. India's micro, small, and medium enterprises, the MSMEs, are the absolute backbone of our economy. They contribute a staggering 30% of our GDP. That's huge.
And wait, it doesn't stop there. Those same small and medium businesses, they're responsible for 40% of our nation's exports. So it's crystal clear, supporting our MSMEs isn't just a nice thing to do, it's absolutely essential for India's economic future.
The government recognized this incredible power and launched the Startup India initiative. This is that ecosystem support we were talking about, but in real life. It means giving startups real, tangible help, things like tax breaks, cutting through the red tape, and making it easier to get funding, all designed to pour fuel on the fire for the next wave of innovators.
Okay, time for a super quick recap to make sure this all sticks. Ready? When you think entrepreneur, think risk, idea, value. For ecosystem, it's finance, policy, network. A business plan? That's your roadmap for feasibility and growth. MSMEs are all about jobs, GDP, exports. And finally, creativity has to be new, useful, and tested. Got all that?
And that brings us to the end of our blueprint. We've gone from the mindset to the plan to the support system. We've seen how entrepreneurs are changing the world, one creative solution at a time. So the only question left is the one you see right now. What problem will you solve?